Okay, Wildcat, say we're at journal page 79, inverse polynomial functions. Find and graph the inverse of f of x. Okay, so first off, we're going to do inverses in purple when we graph, and we're going to do the function in yellow. Okay, so let's start by graphing the function. Okay, now it's a linear function, so just graph it. And let me take a step back. Before we graph, what I recommend doing is, because we're doing inverses, graph f of x equals x on each graph. Okay, because remember, if they're inverses, they're going to reflect over this line. Okay, all right. So now that you have f of x equals x graph, let's go ahead and graph f of x equals negative 2/3 x plus 6. So we start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we start at 6. Okay, and then our slope tells us that we're going down 2 to the right 3. So we go down 2 to the right 1, 2, 3. Down 2 to the right 1, 2, 3. Down 2 to the right 1, 2, 3. Now, it's important to note that negative 2/3 is equivalent to 2 divided by negative 3. And why that's important is because this tells us we go down 2 to the right 3. This tells us we go up 2 to the left 3. So we go up 2 to the left 1, 2, 3. Up 2 to the left 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we're going to graph that line in yellow. Okay. All right, now let's find the inverse so we can graph that as well. So you want to change f of x to y and switch x and y. So x equals negative 2 divided by 3 y plus 6. Okay, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides to get x minus 6 equals negative 2y divided by 3. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we need to multiply everything by 3 divided by negative 2. Okay, so then that's 3x divided by negative 2. Now a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18 divided by negative 2 equals 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 y divided by negative 6. All right. Now this divides and becomes 1, so you're left with y equals, now we can write that as negative 3 divided by 2x, and then 18 divided by negative 2 is minus 9. Okay, so now let's graph the inverse. Okay. Oh, wait a second. You want to double check your work, but a negative times a negative is a positive, so that shouldn't be a negative 2. And you want to look for mistakes like this because that could affect your answer, okay? Because a negative times negative makes this whole thing positive, so that would make this 18 divided by 2 is a positive 9. Okay? Again, a good example of why you always want to double check your work. All right, so now this tells us we start at 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And our slope tells us that we're going down 3 to the right 2. So down 1, 2, 3 to the right 2. 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 Okay, now we connect our points. And actually, sorry, we can go one more time. Down 1, 2, 3 to the right 2. Now, you can see how they reflect over the f of x line, so they're inverses. So it appears this is correct. All right, go ahead and finish up example 1. All right, let's take a look at example 2. Okay, so again, we're going to graph the function in yellow and the inverse in our purple, sorry. All right, so to graph this, we know that the vertex moves to the right 3, up 4. So our vertex was 0, 0. Now we go to the right 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait a second. Whoa. We go to the right 3, down 4. Remember, this is opposite. That is what it is. So then we go to the right 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, always want to double check yourself as you're going through the work. Okay. Now, in this case, I'm actually going to find points for this graph, and I'll explain why in a second. So we're going to graph this on our calculator. Okay. So we're going to go to New Documents, No, and it's a little dark. Brighten that up a little bit. All right. So we're going to add graph. Now, 2 parentheses x minus 3 squared minus 4. Okay. I'm going to press Control T, and I'm going to go, because the graph starts at -10, so we're going to start with x is -10. Okay. And I'm going to use points, the first point that I can use on the graph. So 1, 4. Okay. Looks like that is the first point we can use. Okay. Oh, wait. Almost forgot. Because we're doing inverses of a quadratic, you only want to graph the right side, not the left side. Okay. So we want to start at the vertex. Okay. Which we know is 1, 2, negative, or positive 3, negative 4. So we're going to start at that point. Then the next point would be 4, negative 2. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2. Okay, and our next point would be 5, 4. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 6, 14. We can go 6. 14 is probably, I don't know, about right there. Okay. I'm going to graph that in yellow. Okay. All right. And the reason why I had points, and I probably should have written down, so let me come back up here. So 3, negative 4. So 3, negative 4. 4, negative 2. 5, 4, and 6, 14. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because we know with an inverse, all we have to do is switch the x and y values. Okay, so our inverse values are negative 4, negative 2, 4, 14, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, before we graph those points, let's go ahead and find the inverse of this algebraically. Okay, so now we know that we change f of x to y and switch x and y. So x equals 2, y minus 3 squared minus 4. Okay, so we're going to add 4 to both sides, so that's x plus 4 equals 2, parentheses y minus 3 squared. Okay, we're going to divide 2 by both sides, so that's x plus 4 divided by 2 equals y minus 3 squared. Now you need to take the square root of both sides. In this case, we're only doing the positive side of the square root. So that's x plus 4 divided by 2. And let's go ahead and add the 3 to both sides. So plus 3 equals y. All right. Now graph that. Remember, when you're doing inverses, you take the f of x values and you switch them for inverse. So now our points are negative 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3. And then negative 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 14, 6 is probably somewhere here. Okay. All right, go ahead and finish up example 2. As you're finishing up, notice that these reflect over the f of x line, so we can tell that these are inverses. All right, let's take a look at example 3. Okay. Again, we're going to graph the function in yellow. All right, so to graph this, we're going to get the table values. Okay, so on new document, no, add graph, x squared minus 8x plus 10. And remember, we're only graphing the positive side. Okay, so I'm going to do menu view, grid, line grid. Let's find out what the vertex is. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to start at 4, negative 6 and go to the right. Okay, so Control T. All right, so our first point is 4, negative 6. Okay, so let's start there. And then our next point is 5, negative 5. And then 6, negative 2, 7, 3. Okay, so let's graph those points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4, negative 6, 5, negative 5, 6, negative 2, and 7, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, we know that for the inverse, all you have to do is switch the x and f of x values. So those points are negative 6, negative 5, negative 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. But before we graph those points, let's go ahead and find the inverse of this algebraically. So remember, f of x is y, so and then we switch x and y. So x equals y squared minus 8y plus 10. Okay. Now, what we're going to need to do is complete the square. So that's x equals, we can factor out a 1 from both of these. So that's 1 parentheses y squared minus 8y plus 10. So complete the square, we take the middle number, divide by 2 and square it. So it's plus negative 8 divided by 2 squared. But if you can't just add something in the equation, you have to subtract it away. But you have to subtract it by multiplying by 1. So minus 1 times negative 8 divided by 2 squared. Okay, so then that's x equals 1, parentheses y squared minus 8y plus negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 squared is 16. Plus 10 minus 16. Okay, so then that's x equals 1, parentheses, we can go ahead and factor this. Okay, and then that's 10 minus 16 is minus 6. So then that's y, and we know the factors because negative 8 divided by 2 is minus 4. So minus 4, minus 4. Okay, so our next step is we're going to add 6 to both sides. So you get x plus 6 equals 1, and we can write that as y minus 4 squared. Now we're going to take the square root of both sides, and then we're going to add 4. So y equals the square root of x plus 6 plus 4. Okay, now we have the inverse algebraically. Let's go ahead and graph it. So point r negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 5. Oh, no, that's right. Negative 5, 5. So negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 2, so negative 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 3, 1, 2, 3 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you can see here that these reflect over the f of x equals x line, so they're inverses. All right, so if you would, go ahead and finish up your example, start working on your assignment, and have a wonderful Wildcat day.